In my home, the decision has already been made. You don't have to ask who will guide my family, because by God's grace, I will. You don't have to ask who will teach my son to follow Christ, because I will. Who will accept the responsibility of providing and protecting my family? I will. Who will ask God to break the chain of destructive patterns in my family's history? I will. Who will pray for and bless my children to boldly pursue whatever God calls them to do? I am their father. I will. I accept this responsibility, and it is my privilege to embrace it. I want the favor of God and His blessing on my home. Any good man does. So where are you, men of courage? Where are you, fathers who fear the Lord? It's time to rise up and answer the call that God has given to you, and to say, I will. I will. I will.
Family Proclamation Project Part 5. President Howard W. Hunter set forward a standard for fathers by saying, "The teaching and governance of the family," he observed, "must not be left to a man's wife alone. To society, to school, or even the church, to father a child is more than a biological act or fulfillment of a social role. To father a child is to accept a divine calling, a moral stewardship, and a lasting commitment across generations." When the scriptures refer to a father's presiding in the home, it means to love, teach, and help direct through life. In ancient days and in many different cultures around the world, father figures often disposed wisdom and advice on their children through meetings, blessings, and bonding moments. Generativity is defined by simply as the challenge to adults to create, care for, and promote the development of others, from nurturing the growth of another person to shepherding the development of a broader community. Children that have fathers that are active in their lives show greater cognitive abilities, more emotional control, and have a wider range of empathy. Both the boys and girls who have active fathers show higher social competence and fewer problems in school. Children whose fathers that demonstrated generativity had more attainment in their education and young adult life. Raising a child is not only an individual journey, but that of a community and a relational journey across generations. Parents, grandparents, teachers, aunts and uncles, friends, and neighbors are all a part of the molding system involved in raising children. As parents, mothers and fathers decide to include or exclude a person from their child's life and development. Fathers and mothers must work together to rear the child in a healthy household and take an active role in the parenting. Working on and creating connected moments are essential in family rearing. Fathers are encouraged to have these bonding moments with their children in planned and reoccurring activities, such as brushing teeth, playing board games, and family dinners. These moments help bond wives, husbands, and children together. Wives are also encouraged to do this type of relationship work and establish a partnership with their spouse and children that continues family togetherness. Historically, marriage and motherhood has been used in the past as a way to control women, enslave women, and to rely solely on men economically. This has caused the fundamentals of motherhood to be questioned deeply by feminists and philosophers. However, it has caused stay-at-home and traditional mothers to feel attacked and underappreciated by society. Before industrialization occurred in the 19th century, men and women worked together to establish economics and home life through artisan shops and family farms. More often than not, household chores were shared. Although women were not liberated during these time frames, industrialization often proved to make their liberty worse. Men began to find work outside the home, creating all the household responsibilities to be placed on women. Even if the women were working themselves, all of their property and wages belonged to the husband. Over time, this developed into the idea that women should be completely selfless and not self-serving. In a healthy and equal household, motherhood is very beneficial and promotes the growth and development of a younger society. For fathers and mothers to take care of the rising generation, it can be very gratifying. Parenthood looks different for everyone. Some women stay at home to parent, others balance work and family life/motherhood. But the value of motherhood is not diminished. Having and raising children is a selfless act which can put much stress on the body and mind. Children who had been deprived of maternal care demonstrated a lack of empathy and feeling, had superficial relationships, and exhibited antisocial behaviors. This caused researcher John Bowlby to conclude that attachment between mother and child is essential for socio-emotional development. When parents are emotionally available for their children, support their emotions, and receive the physical and psychological security necessary for development, it causes the children to explore healthy social behaviors. When that security is threatened, fear activates the attachment system to restore access to the person they are attached to. Fear that is not appropriately addressed can lead to feelings of anxiety, depression, aggression, and defensive distortions of vulnerable feelings. Harry Harlow, an infamous researcher, studied maternal love in monkeys and their offspring. In his studies, he had baby monkeys attached to two different fake mother monkeys. One was made of cloth and the other had food. He noticed that the monkeys would attach to the cloth mother monkey for comfort and would only go to the other for food. Other studies he did showed that monkeys that were raised with no maternal figure and kept in isolation would self-mutilate, walk in circles, and stare blankly in the distance. Once introduced to other monkeys, the isolated ones stayed away, unsure how to act socially. In his second set of studies, he decided to try and figure out when attachment went away. He bonded the baby monkeys to the cloth mother figures. Then he would have the mother figures abuse the baby monkeys. The more the monkeys got abused, the more they tried to get the original attachment back. The babies would flirt with the mother figures, do nice things, and perform socially pandering behavior. This gave researchers insight into how humans and children act in family abuse situations when it comes to attachment. Overall, fathers are essential in a child's development and future. It is important for fathers to pass wisdom down to children through blessings and advice. Being a parent is about partnership in the family. Maternal interaction is important for a child to develop socially, and supportive parenthood is necessary for a child to create healthy attachments.